Hey guys, if you want to check out how I took my Strat from this to this, check it out. My Strat. I am going to be replacing the pick guard with the pickups, obviously. I'm going to be replacing the tremolo bridge, the output jack cover, and probably even the tuning pegs, the tuning machines. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is loosen up the strings to get them off. I'm going to try to reuse them. We'll find out. What I'm going to be using to replace are these guys. All of them. Pick guard, bridge. So that's going to be there. So first things first, obviously, the strings have to come off. And actually, the first things first, remove the tremolo bar. Now I'm not going to have to take the knobs off because that's all going to come off as one unit. But the tremolo bar comes off. And in the back, I'm going to be taking springs off and pulling the tremolo out, but not yet. First things first, that is unwinding the strings and hopefully being able to reuse them. This may actually be easier than I thought. First, I'm going to take the springs out of the back. Okay, put those right there, make them easier to get to in a minute. And what I've got on each one is a 6-screw tremolo system. We're about to, in a minute here, get our first glimpse under the pickguard on the original Strat. My original Strat. Alright, so now I'm getting the idea of how this thing goes together. Alright guys, so I watched a couple YouTube videos. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. And I'm actually ready to turn this into this. Alright, so what I've got is the focus middle, the red wire coming off the middle of the first volume knob, and the white wire coming from the ground run through the body cavity in the hole for the output jack. Then I've got the other ground, black ground wire, which is soldered to the base, so it's ground. That's running through the body cavity into the back to be soldered onto the tremolo. And all I did, nothing soldered yet. All I've got here is, it's just loosely pushed through. Now, what I'm going to do is just simply place the pick guard into the cavity. Maybe a little bit of finagling. So the reason I seem to be having problems with the pickguard at this point is there was a couple of cables or wires running from the neck pickup back to the volume pots, and they were not falling into the space in the cavity. All I had to do was, once I figured it out, was to line them up with the cavity and the pickguard laid flat. I gotta say, that looks good. Just gotta get all the screw holes lined up. Yeah. That looks pretty cool. That actually looks really clean. And the pearl pickguard looks really cool. That looks really good. It is not screwed down yet, but it is well on the way. I'm going to put the whammy bar in there. That's going to look really good. So what I did here was very, very simple. I used the existing solder points. And that's a little close. Sorry. So I used the existing solder points. All I did was heat them up. Come on, focus. I simply heated the solder points up from the inside until they were liquid. I had the wires hovering over them, and the wires fell right into the holes. And now the output jack is wired. So now I'm going to take the new output jack. And there you go. Just like that, it came right off. That one's on there good though. So what I'm going to do now is redo this one. Alright. Go. Sit down there. I don't know what happened to. So what I'm doing at this point is I've already screwed down the output jack, put a few screws in the pick guard, and I'm securing it. But this pick guard and the original pick guard were obviously not made in the same place. The holes don't line up at all. I actually wound up having to drill some pilot holes. These screws are not going to go in. No, that one. Alright. That's it for now. Alright guys. So I got the pick guard on the front. I got the output jack wired in. Now I just got to do the ground to the tremolo system. So I'm going to use the solder point that was already there. And I'm simply going to, I think I'm going to come in around the top like so. So this doesn't get in the way of the springs when I put them on. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down on top of the wire and let it sink into it. And that looks like it's on there. Now it's on there. As you can see, that's a solid weld. Solder point. Sorry, guys. Any engineers watching? Yes, I'm not one. But yeah, that's a good solder point. That's a good ground. Okay, so what I've got here. So what I've done is I've put in the tremolo system. I only did two screws, two outside. I'm probably going to go back and do these other two, but I like the idea of some of the other tremolo systems with fulcrum that have two screws that the tremolo system rests on. So I've got one and two screws there. And then on the back, let me show you what I did with the back of it when I sunk it through the cavity, because this is the tremolo coming through the cavity. I've got one spring going to one hole, second spring going to the outside hole. So you got possible of 1, 2, 3, 5 possibilities, and you got 5 hooks on the claw. So what I did is I took the two outside, because I don't like a lot of resistance on the tremolo bar. I like some resistance, obviously, but not a tremendous amount. So I figured putting fewer springs back here would give it a little more fluidity. And I just popped them into the two outside. Obviously, I'm not going to put them through the string holes, but you do have these possibilities depending on the tremolo setup that you want. So that's it. And the finished product. Restrung, intonation set, all that kind of stuff. Personally, I think it looks amazing with the pearl pick guard. There we go. Chrome hardware, pearl pick guard. That looks really cool.